Welcome to the next episode of the Teacher Zone with Chris and Tyler. I'm Tyler Maroff. I'm here with Chris Bates, and today is part 2 of the transformation framework and formula that we've been going over. So, Chris, how are you today? And tell them really quick how they need to listen to the last episode and what it was on before we get into this one.
I'm awesome, and I'm so glad that you're listening today. We're going to talk about the convert part of the formula. So for those of you that have listened to the last episodes, we talked about our transformation formula. We also talked about the first aspect, which was attract. Before that, though, we did talk a little bit about our leadership, and that's why this is a hybrid. So it's basically, how do you take your leadership style and how do you take the transformation formula that's in our webinar, that's in the podcast that we're talking about, and how do you actually implement that with your teams? So the first, go back and listen if you need to attract. That talks about Tyler and I's team there, and just to try and give you guys some inspiration. Right. And then today, convert is going to be about how we convert customers from we talked about how we get them from a lead to wanting to sign up. And today is the sign up. So today's convert. They're becoming a student. They're joining your program. They're taking classes or lessons with you. So how does that work? So, and the bottom line, Ty, is that you and I need to get out of the way. For if you're listening to this as a director or owner, just know that your team is there to help make what we do enjoyable. If you're feeling stressed out, it's because you're wearing too many hats.
Right. So a quick review about last week. What are the 3 things we're in charge of as founders and owners? And I know we wear 12 hats at once when we start our businesses and entrepreneurs. But the goal is to run an amazing and healthy and fun business to where we're not working 80 hours a week. What are the 3 things we're in charge of, Chris?
But most important is vision. Second is people, and third is finances. Vision, people, finances. Those are the 3 most important things, guys. And vision. Right. Our real job is to remind our customers and our staff and the community at large over and over and over what it is we do, our vision.
Right. And so the 4 parts of the framework are all vision related. Attract, convert, deliver. How do we do everything here? And then transform, that culture, tribal, amazing community impact. Okay. So today's pillar, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, is very people-based. Like the people we found so that Chris and I can concentrate on growing the business, not working in it, but working on it, is this convert is that people side. Is it and do we have systems in place that makes it easy for the people? So the people that are already there, do they feel empowered? And is it turnkey, or is it just a mess? Is it taking too long? Are we losing out?
The messier your process to get someone from when they raise their hand to getting into your program, it sort of starts off on the wrong foot, if you will.
Right.
So it's really important that the convert part is super clean. And Tyler and I are still kind of defining, to be honest with you, we know with our team, all of us, kind of what we're trying to accomplish, but we're trying to define the words around it. The words that he and I use a lot as on the vision of our business. And so I impart you to, before we get into this convert, just sort of think about that. How do you want to impart your vision to your team in the world? One of the things that we say, Tyler, just most simply on a vision, is we say, good values, make friends, play for life.
Right.
That's like our basic vision, right? It's not music lessons. It's not Performance Academy. We happen to have a Performance Academy, but that's not the vision we're trying to impart.
We also have a little side note that we'll say on occasion, the parents that get it, most of ours do, and we'll say, hey, you know what? Music is important at our school, but first and foremost is character and relationship building. With those 2 things, you can do anything extraordinary in any avenue. And we just happen to do music, and whatever your school does, that's your thing. So I know you guys are relating to what we're talking about here. So we're going to get into the 3 aspects of convert and how the teams handle that. And this is probably going to be a short podcast because if it was long, we're doing it wrong.
Good point. If you haven't heard the Transformation Formula webinar, go check it out. It's on our website. And Transformation Formula is a framework where we basically, from working with all of you around the world, we've come up with basically, the 4 most important aspects of running our business. So number 2 is convert. Let's get into it. So the first thing Tyler, to converting someone is your offer, which is pricing simplicity, basically just a simple offer so people know what service am I buying.
Right. Tell them who's on our team for that, Chris.
So for that, it starts with Tyler and I. I mean, he and I are basically the crux. If you look at the entire business, he and I are the lead on this one.
Well, and I'm also known in many forums around the galaxy as the pricing gladiator. So I have literally no fear of pricing us into the right amount of value price ratio. I don't have a fear. So I kind of just have this big shield that says pricing by Tyler, and I just put my shoulder into it and we're smart about it. And never once have we had anything adverse hit the company. Not once. And so there's some pricing episodes you can go back in time to listen to. But if it isn't simple, which is the point of today, then it's just going to be convoluted to the customer and the convert won't be easy. Right, Chris?
Yeah. So how we talk about our pricing, we happen to have a really simple membership model. So in the pricing aspect of convert, it's important that you, number 1, have a clean, clear messaging website. So our team on the pricing and convert side is Tyler and I, Brad, our messaging person, and then Drew, our website guy. So the 4 of us try and make sure that it's clear, but we do not have pricing on our website. You get that in a phone call with Tyler that you might remember we talked about Alexa and Taylor on the last episode. When they call to qualify the prospects, they then schedule a phone appointment with Tyler. And we're not doing group appointments.
A group appointment through Calendly. So we have streamlined 2 aspects of the Attract, which there's a little tour thing that Chris does. Instead of doing, 12 different 30-minute individual private tours a week, we do them on a single 30-minute period now. And it's this big group affair.
They're way more fun. They're way more effective, and people love being together.
And so we thought, and then Chris was like, Tyler, what? And I'm making a video. I'm doing all this stuff to optimize this phone call part, this intimate boutique. We want to know about.
Because guys, some days Alexa and Taylor are so effective. You should see Tyler's schedule. Some days he was having 5 calls a day with new prospects, and that just drains a day.
No, it is not necessary. You pop them on a virtual meeting. We all got trained overnight how to get into Zoom. Well, my Calendly link has my GoToMeeting in it. And so they all pop in, we wait till they're all there, and I guide everyone through the pitch all at once. Imagine, what is our customer's about a $4,500 to $5,000 a year customer, right? Overall. Imagine 5 to 8 of those at once. And they scheduled it. It's powerful and it's quick.
And there's something about converting people in groups, by the way, guys, is they end up selling each other. So last week I had 8 families tour. And what was so neat, it was 2 different 30-minute tours. That's it. So we sold 8 families a $5,000 a year membership in only an hour combined.
Right.
And it was super enjoyable. Everyone sold each other because they're laughing and you can be more entertaining and all this. So our process on the price simplicity is come up with something that's very coherent. So what happens is that Tyler on this call, he tells them our price, which is that we're a one price.
And they also hear the 3 things that everyone gets with their membership, and that's it. And I tell them that, hey, everybody, this call is to the point. You need your nuts and bolts to take back to your families to find out if we are even the right fit for you. So I'm going to give you the 3 things that every student gets with the membership and then the price. And if you like that, you guys hop on a tour and all your dreams will come true. It's so basic.
And then our tour, we try and make that all about the why. So we make that about the actual students themselves, and we really get them excited.
Well, and we tell them that on the phone call. We say, hey, guys, your kids aren't here. We're not interested in how excited you are about the program. I call it I kind of coined it recently, Chris. I don't know if you even know this. This is hot off the press. It's the 51% buy-in shareholder rule.
Ooh.
The kids need to be that 51% majority holder of their journey at the school, and their parents don't have voting rights.
I love it. That's
And
right.
I don't say it in that detail, but they get it. And we've always said it kind of that way, but I gave it a name, and the parents are like, no way. That makes sense. Unless they're a parent that's like at the very end, can you just come to the house and teach piano? That's the beauty of all this. It's so simple. It's like, no, but we'll refer you to Dan Man's down the road and so on. So it really helps not only pre-qualify, but zip the people into convert like that.
So the first part of our convert is conveying our value and our price simply and over and over and over, so they know what they're getting, and we try and drown them in value, so they feel like, oh wow, for that price, I feel like I'm actually it's inexpensive. So we don't want to talk pricing because
we have an episode on that, Chris.
Well,
that episode is timeless. That thing is still good. Go back and listen.
Most of you are so far underpriced because you're so worried about competition versus value. It's only about value, okay? So,
by the way, Chris, real quick bullet point on this, if I may. If in fact they don't tour or they do tour at this point, this is just a quick one, it goes right back to attract. And if they don't do any of those things immediately, it churns right into attract, into the system, except they got to see who we were. And so the girls, our teams follow up, and then boom, we had someone show up the other day, and they're like, man, those Alexa and Taylor, Wyatt, remember? They just stayed on me, and I got excited. And you know what I mean? And so it's that part of the system is never ending. Okay, that attract meets convert.
Well, if you think about it as far as a funnel, like people always talk about a marketing funnel, the attract part is the top of the funnel where leads are coming in and they're talking to Alexa and Taylor and they're scheduling the call, the group call with Tyler. Then Tyler's group call is the middle of the funnel. He's now saying who's going to get to this bottom part of the funnel. Then he schedules group tours with me, which are the bottom of the funnel, right? From that group tour, we're literally seeing signups happen that next day. Right. So from the group tour, it's the close. And so we're then getting into enrollment, which is the next step in convert.
And this is the part that's quick. This is the short to the point part of everybody. So stay tuned right now. Go ahead, Chris.
Well, now that we've gone through that whole process of attracting the lead, getting them through the top of the funnel, Alexa and Taylor following up to 13 times if they have to, them getting other emails from Spencer, social media, and all this other stuff. They've now gone to the middle of the funnel. They've talked to Tyler and got excited with some other folks. Then they've gone to the bottom of the funnel and they've actually come to see our facilities. And that's where the rubber meets the road. Because when they decide to actually pull the trigger, then what we tell them is we say, listen, you can't decide today, but tomorrow when someone reaches out, if you student, we actually talk to the students. We say, if you student are excited, then we'd love to have you, and mom and dad could figure out.
That's the only requirement for membership, kiddo. You have to want to be here, and you need to go home and decide. And you know what? It's powerful. And at that point, that's when it gets easy, because if they don't enroll, by the way, buyer beware. I tell all the parents, I go, if you go on the tour, 90% sign up.
Right. And that's pretty true, because what happens is by the time we've got them through that funnel, the tour is the bottom of the funnel. They're ready to sign up. So then what we see the next day is Spencer Hayden, who's on the enrollment team. So it goes from pricing, simplicity, or the offer to enrollment. He's on the enrollment team. So Spencer and Melissa. Melissa's the lead. Spencer Hayden is right behind her. And then underneath that's our director, Askin, and other teachers that might help out. Why? Here's what happens. Spencer, next day, sends everybody a quick email. Hey, I know you had a tour yesterday. What questions do you have? That's it. So people come back. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. He gauges their interest and questions.
And most usually it's like, hey, he really loved the tour. What do we do next? That's the most common answer. And so why don't we just skip to that one? Yeah. And then at that point, Melissa triggers.
Yeah. So when people say I'm in, then Melissa takes it from there. So bottom line is that Melissa gets them over the finish line. So Tyler, She takes our automated online cloud-based registration, and sometimes it's on our website, sometimes it's a registration link, and she just gets them to that registration. Oh, you want to enroll? Great. Before we pick your time and your teacher, I need you to go do this. So the very first step is collecting their data and their credit card.
Right.
And we've not charged them yet.
And they, not only do they customize their answers based on questions we created, so we know exactly what because at our school, our teachers are all multi-instrumentalists. All schools are different. So we custom boutique pick who their journey is going to be with based on their first, second, and third most important instrument goals. Maybe it's just one instrument, but if there's vocals, piano, recording, that could be any of 4 of our 13 teachers. So therefore, our school, we don't really have the widget set up where they can go and they can read the bios all they want, but we place them by a vote. So that's our little niche.
Teach, by the way, Tyler, I have to bring this up. So, we work with so many of you in so many, whether it's athletics or we work with you in language schools or in the performing arts. It really doesn't matter. If you're teaching lessons or classes, privates or classes, then we all have that camaraderie and that synergy as far as how the offering works. So basically what we're doing is we're distilling them into our privates. So the enrollment form, the registration form gets sent and they fill that out. As soon as they fill that out, now the next level happens. Now Melissa actually has data to go off of.
Right. And they've agreed to our agreement for parents/students. So
by the way, at that time, guys, we've already had them agree to our policies and procedures. So now they know the rules.
Yep.
Now they know the requirements. They've answered the questions. We've pretty much taken care of all the administrative stuff off-site. They're doing it in their house.
Yep. And our operations Melissa does not have to do it. And so here's the great part. It looks so pro that today's day and age is so cloud-based that these families that know we have something special, this is just backing up the spine of our vision. That's all it's doing. It's enhancing the mission and vision. Because let's just say this, 8 years ago, the mission and vision was there, but a lot of the bones weren't. It was chaos. And so we've come a long way to get here, guys. So you're hearing like a journey and where we've gotten to make this.
I believe like the automated, we have happened to use Teacher Zone. I think a lot of you listening are Teacher Zone users too. But bottom line is that how you bring them in, it's that first impression with regard to, our professionalism. And so the fact that we do it very professionally, they get a great welcome email. They're in, fabulous. Then the last stage is the automated payments.
Yep.
That payment trigger, guys, they're not allowed to get on our schedule because basically what they're doing in the lesson and class business is reserving your staff's time. So until they can't reserve time without paying. So then that's where she gets, why don't you talk about that last stage, the automated payment stage? So we've got
the automated payment stage is so easy because they've already put in either their ACH or credit card info. And oh my gosh, like 80% of our customers, and we have a MRR of what, 80K a month. 80% of them love credit card miles. So they're paying it off the next month, but they want the miles for the tuition. So I just thought that was a side note. That was a fun fact about people for lessons.
Yeah, I hear people tell me my customers still want to pay by check. I'm like, no, they don't.
Yeah,
nobody does. Do you know how much gas it burns?
Do you know how much gas it burns to use the energy to write with a pencil?
So the automated payments kind of make everything work. And and Melissa gets that set up and the schedule set up, which again, they get auto notifications for that. And then lastly, Melissa is able to send the last, hopefully you got all that. Here's directions to the school. Here's the room you're in. Here's a teacher bio of the teacher we've set you up with, so you can read it to your family. And then Tyler, she also pings the teachers, right?
No. Yes, she pings the teachers based on the goals and information that we've learned about that child along the way. So they get a very short and sweet 3 to 5 sentence paragraph of who they get to meet and start to work with. But otherwise, as soon as they're on the schedule and the auto pay starts, which is all magic, it happens immediately once they hit the schedule, the teachers are notified, congratulations, we customize it. You've got a brand new student at Los Rios, and it says their name and what time. And so the teachers know exactly, and it's kind of exciting because we make it sound exciting. They're getting notified real time when that kid hits the schedule, even if he doesn't start till next week.
And when they register, by the way, we not only get the teacher's own notification to our staff, but we've hooked it up to Zapier, and we have a really fun woohoo, throw a party. We just got a new student email that goes out
to all operations. Yep.
To the operations staff. So it's a way to sort of make this like a celebration. So that's Convert. We can get into more detail, but that's the bottom line with Convert. So now we've got Attract and Convert. Both of those elements, guys, basically are we're trying to get to transform, and we're trying to get to engagement that creates a long-term student that retains. The more your students retain, what is your average retention, right?
Right.
I mean,
right.
in the industry, in the learning business, the average retention is typically, I think, about 13 months. And so it's
how many
all of our
seniors
goals.
did we have graduate last August show? Was it 14 seniors?
It's usually about 12 to 15 seniors.
Yeah. And so you guys, we looked at the average age of those that they started with our school, and I looked it up, and it was around 12 to 13 years old that those college seniors were leaving. And Dax even started when he was younger. Chris's son was one of them. Yeah. He was with us forever.
The most recent class. Oh, it was great on stage, Tyler. You weren't at that particular announcement. It was so cool. The announcement where those seniors did that. A lot of the seniors were there. I said, "Hey, how long have you guys been with us?" You know, I screamed from the audience, and Drew is like 8 years. Dax is like 7.5, 6 years, 9 years. It was like, what? Everybody had been with us over 5 years.
Yep. And that is all based on this framework, you guys. We've had a mission to make an impact for a long time, and it wouldn't have survived if we didn't start to change as individuals and learn that there's a process that has people want to build more trust and grow with us. So these customers and these families, they trust us. They need to know that we have their back and that their kids or any student is protected. That's our vision. Yep. And that's why the framework works. So next one, we'll be getting into Deliver. The proof is in the pudding, though, Chris. You could have as much culture in your brain that you want. If you can't deliver how you do it in an efficient manner that's fun and easy to digest, you're dead in the water. So
the next two are your business. You're right. Yep. You're dead in the water. The next two are your business. The first two are what keeps the business, like, it's kind of like eating. If you don't eat, you don't live. It's what keeps the business healthy and alive. The last two are what you consider your business. Deliver, transform.
Like, if I can keep a $5,000 a year student for 7 years, I'm just telling you, it starts to make things easier. Why would I want them gone in 6 months?
And it's how we're able to retain some of our extraordinary team members and
that's a huge part of it. We're going to have to add that to the outline in the Deliver, because team is, this is going to be the best team part.
Yeah.
This is going to be the best team part of the pillar.
So stay tuned for next week. We'll get on the Deliver part and our team that handles proving all the things we promised these folks to get them to become customers.
Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. Go to teacherzone.com for more information about Chris and I, and podcasts and webinars and all that. We just appreciate your listening and viewership. If you see us right now, hello, and we'll see you at the next episode on the flip side. Thanks a lot, Chris.
Thanks, Ty.